How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sean Millette, and today I'm going to be talking about how I became a sergeant in the Army and how you can become one too. For those of you that don't know me, as I said before, my name is Sean Millette, and I've been in the Army National Guard for over 6 years now, and I became a sergeant just about a year ago. And personally, I think it's the easiest it's ever been to become a sergeant. You used to, not too long ago, you used to have to do some online learning, which, I don't know, ranged between like 20 to 40 hours of some online training. DLC 1, which was distributed learning course or leader course or something like that, and it was all self-paced, work at your own style, but you couldn't make it to sergeant if you didn't have that completed. And I'm pretty sure after you completed DLC, you still weren't sergeant yet. Then your unit was like, okay, we can send this person to BLC, which is basic leaders course. That's an actual physical course that you go to. My last video I talked all about it, so I'll reference that, and feel free to go watch that after this. Then after you completed your DLC and your BLC, I believe is when you make it to the rank of sergeant. It's no longer like that. It is, DLC has gone away. BLC you don't have to have completed until you're ready to move up to your 6. So after you can get the promotion of sergeant, and then somewhere between E5 to before you make it to E6, you have to have BLC completed in order to move on. And really that just worked out in my favor because DLC was something that my unit harped on. They're like, get this done if you want to advance in your career, and there's like, why not do it, because you never know. And honestly, my mentality was, oh, I'm getting out of the Army, I'm not going to do it. Why would I waste my time doing that if I'm just going to get out in 6 years after that contract's done? Well, look at me. Everyone else that did it is the ones that got out, and then I'm the one that didn't do it, and I stayed in. It's kind of funny how that works. But as I said, I didn't have to end up completing it because it was discontinued and it was no longer a requirement to make sergeant. Essentially, the way it was kind of shown to me is it's a big point system, at least in the National Guard. I think it is a little bit of a point system in the Army, or sorry, active duty as well. But in the National Guard specifically, you go up against everyone else that does, what is it, is the same MOS in your state, and then it's just a point system. What really shot me to the top of the list, and really the reason that I made it to sergeant, the real reason, like the main overall reason, is really because I went to college and I scanned in my bachelor's degree. I'm not kidding you, 2 months, I think, maybe, if even, depending, because it was like based on the time of the year, EPS, different things, whatever. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, I'm sorry. What I'm saying is, within 2 months of me scanning in my bachelor's degree, I finished college, my 4-year degree. 2 months later, it was time for promotions and different things like that, the start of the new military year, and I was top, like, I think second on the list for the entire state. If there's a point system, I don't know what all is on it, but a few things that I was told was civilian education. I think bachelor's degree is like the one that really shoots you up there, because it did for me, and I'm pretty sure it would for anyone else. So if you're in the National Guard, some sort of civilian education, even if you just went for a semester, make sure that you get those credits. Like, yeah, I think you should be able to. You can get credit for those. You get those scanned in with your unit, and you should get some points. You're not going to get as much as 120 credits because you don't have a bachelor's degree, but literally anything helps in this category. As even if you've just done 1 class, 2 semesters, it doesn't matter. Get that scanned in. That's going to help you shoot you up that list. Something else that you can do is complete more online learnings. I believe there's like a whole list out there somewhere of different online learnings you can do. I think it's, I forgot what the site's called. But anyways, there's a whole list of them, and you can literally just knock out online trainings and get up to so many points to shoot you on top of that list. So I mean, any way that you can be getting points, I would totally go all for it. I also want to say I'm pretty sure that your AFT scores and your rifle qualification scores tie into the mix somehow. So make sure that you're shooting good, and also make sure that you're staying up on your physical fitness and trying to go for that max score in each event. Another thing that's important to remember is I've seen it time and time again throughout the 6 years I've been in the Army, and like, you know, people just slow roll it, especially on the National Guard side. They get complacent and they're like, oh, I'm getting out, whatever. A lot of people don't try it. So as long as you're giving it like your full effort and you're actually putting some time into like, oh, I'm working out outside of drill weekends and getting ready for this AFT. I mean, truly, if you think about it though, like, you're going to already do better than most. It's just that like extra percent that's just putting you up above everyone else. And usually it's the people that are slow rolling it that are like, whatever, I'm good where I'm at, that are the ones that end up staying in and wonder why, they're 10 years in and still at the E4 rank. I believe the last one that I can think of ways to get points to make it to sergeant is like volunteer hours. I think that's one of them. I'm pretty sure. Don't come at me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if it should be up to a certain amount of hours, like 50, 100, something like that, up to so many volunteer hours. So if that's something that you already do, you go and do a service and you don't get any compensation for that, then definitely try to find a way that you can get that to your unit, get proof that you actually did something, and get those hours counted for. And honestly, if you're just doing a little bit of all those things, you should have no problem getting up on that list. And I want to say though, like time in service and time in grade also plays a role too. Maybe not, but I want to say that it does a little bit. I believe they say something like you should be able to know how to do your job like 2 ranks ahead of you. Now, for me being an E5 for just about a year, I can tell you right now, I don't think I could be an E7. Like, snap of a finger, I don't think I'd be a very successful E7. But now that I've done BLC and I've been a sergeant for a year, I've kind of learned how to do my job a little bit. Now I can start to focus and extend that scope. So that way, when it does come time for promotion, if I want to go to E6, E7, climb those ranks, then it's important for me now to start focusing on okay, what do those above me, who do I report to, what do they do, and what is the good, the bad, the ugly, and kind of figure out what kind of leader I want to become in that position when I make it there. So that way, when I get there, I'm not all flustered and how do I even do this job? That's probably one of my biggest things. I would really really harp on. Try to find someone, even if it's not the direct person that you report to. Find someone that you really like at that rank, you think they do a good job at their job. You think they do a good job. And just kind of think about the qualities that person has, what they do differently than the others, and what makes them a successful leader, and try and mold that into your own personal leadership styles. So again, those are just some ways that you can help yourself get promoted faster. There is obviously, like I said, there is time in grade and time in service requirements to make it there. So waiting is unfortunately just part of the game sometimes, but again, make sure you're ready by the time you get there. You should already know how to somewhat be a sergeant by the time you make it to sergeant. So, you basically want others to think highly of you, always, do the right thing, live by the Army values, and yeah, really just make it hard for them to say, no, we don't want we don't want to consider this person for promotion, because later on down the line, that is a very real thing when it comes to boards and different things like that. Is there boards? I can't remember. But there is a whole different promotion system from E6 and up from there on out, and it really is all about character, because you're getting graded on your NCOERs, and it's literally just a piece of paper with words that basically just describes who you are as a leader, what you've done that year against everyone else in the entire state. Then it all that other stuff goes away. It's more about leadership qualities. So while you can, make it to E5, do those things that get you the points, and then you can worry about the rest later. Personally, I didn't try to rush the sergeant position. I didn't try to go for it as soon as I could. I think, I want to say you could probably make it to E5 in 4 years? I'm not too sure what the soonest you can make it is, but 4 or 5 years I would probably assume is about right around the quickest you can make it. But there was E5 positions opening up right around when we all hit that 4-year mark. I say we all because there was a bunch of us that all came to the unit at the same time, and some have gotten out now, many have gotten out, some have already been promoted. But one of our sergeants at the time, he said, we were all fresh promoted to E4. We hit that, 6 months to a year, 18 months, whatever it is, the timing grade that it had to be. And then there was E5s getting tossed around do you guys want it? And he basically said, you haven't even actually truly learned how to do your job yet. And it would just it wouldn't be beneficial to you if you don't even know how to do everything that's expected of you at this rank, and then try to move up another rank, and then just be completely gone in the wind. And honestly, so that was kind of the like advice that I took, and it was true. We hadn't done a lot. I think by that point, most of us came into the unit at the E3 rank already because we did like split training. We'd already been in for about a year and a half. We were really only with our unit for 6 months, so we hadn't even done an annual training. We didn't even do like, I don't know, just a whole bunch of different stuff with our unit. And, you know, we thought we knew everything at the time, of course, because we were fresh out of AIT and we were a lot more squared away than some people are in the National Guard with our courtesies and customs, but that's besides the point. And he was right, though. I'm glad that I waited and I took my turn. And eventually how I ended up, like I said, I scanned in my bachelor's degree. I was also coming up on the last, it was September of last year. This was September of 2024. And then my contract ended in January of 2025. So I had about like 3 or 4 months left on my contract. So it kind of, I think that probably also played a factor too, is it was like an incentive to stay in. Because otherwise, like, I really wasn't sure. I didn't think I was going to stay in, but then they knew that it was like, I don't know, we were doing like monthly counselings, like trying to talk about what I wanted in my future. Of course, I was trying to buy a house that I now live in, so the money was used for something good. I didn't throw it all on some crazy car payment. But yeah, I mean, it was really nice because they offered that up. But I know why I got that position was because I scanned in my bachelor's degree, pretty much. And then because I accepted that position, then I had to re-sign. You have to have so many years on your contract if you're going to accept a promotion or different things. Basically, they want to make sure that they're not wasting a position on someone that's going to get out 4 months later, and then they got to go through the whole process all over again. So it makes sense why it happened. I signed a 3-year contract because I didn't like being that 6-year cloud over my head. It was too much for me. But 3 years feels a little more manageable and kind of take it one by one. And I don't know. I did always say though, if I signed another contract after the initial one, that I'd stay in the full 20, because even with this one, after this 3 years is up, I'll be 9 years. That's almost halfway to 20. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm just gonna take it contract by contract at this point, but. That is how I made it to sergeant. That is also how you can make it to sergeant too. Very realistic path here in the National Guard. Even if you don't go to college, if you go into the trades, I believe you can get credits for the schooling you do there. And not to mention, the Army will pay for, the National Guard will pay for most of your schooling. So if you have any sort of like certificates you're trying to go get, I don't know what that entails because I've never done that, but like your CDL, if that costs money to go get or take or something like that, I'm pretty sure that the National Guard will pay for some of it, if not all of it. Don't come after me if they don't pay for all of it, but I've heard that plenty of times and they did a really good job at paying for my college. So yeah. Alright guys, well that's all I got for you in today's video. If you have any questions about becoming a sergeant, how to become a sergeant, that just wasn't mentioned in this video, or any like unique situations that pertain to you, please comment it down below. I love helping you guys out, answering all your questions. Additionally, any other military questions, military related questions, comments, things I could be doing better in my videos, anything, feel free to comment it down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out.